What's good, everybody? Welcome to Life on Beagle Road. Today, we got some real talk. What if your way of life was being forced to change in some way? What if you could no longer have those chickens, those goats, those cows, those pigs? What if it wasn't you? What if it was your neighbor, a friend? What if it was someone you didn't even know, but they lived in your town? What if it was someone clear across the country? What would you do? That's what today's video is all about. This is a collaboration of homesteaders choosing to take a stand, not just for themselves, but for other people. And we want to try to get you to be a part of that. You see, my family is in a position where we feel that our way of life that we've chosen is currently being threatened. This isn't for everybody, and we understand that. These aren't pets. These aren't accessories to our life. This is a part of our family. This is a part of who we want to be, how we want to identify ourselves, what we want for our children, what we want for us. It's a part of food freedom. It's just a different way of life that we've chosen. And unfortunately, it's not quite going our way. So yeah, I ask you, what would you do? How would you respond? Would you fight or flight? What would it take for you to take a stand? Today, we're gonna tell you our story.
Some of you know our situation and some do not. We started our homestead back in 2015 with a couple goats that I talked Kenny into.
What does every woman really want for Christmas? A new goat.
We've grown from there to quite a few goats, chickens, all kinds of gardening, and in September got a letter telling us that we couldn't do any of it based on our zoning.
We checked the mail and we had a letter from the township. We do not by right have the ability to use our land to raise large pets or farm animals, including chickens and goats.
So it's been about 6 weeks of stress and preparation. It is now Friday, November 9th. We just met with our attorney, and honestly, this is the best I have felt since all of this started. Something I missed or didn't understand when reading the exception available for our township and zone was that this exception shall be granted if you meet the space requirements. So that means that we meet the requirements and we can't be denied. That's kind of a huge deal. I feel really good about the way Monday is going to go, but the question remains, where do we go from there? The way we see it, we have two options. After we're granted the exception, we can pursue rezoning, or we can move. There are so many other things that we want to do. I mean, we have talked about guinea fowl, quail, meat birds, alpaca. We really need to weigh the pros and cons here. And the one big pro of pursuing rezoning is we get to stay here. This is where I grew up. My family has been on this road since 1956. I can't imagine a time where we didn't live here. When the house was built, not only did my dad build it, but lots of his cousins and aunts and uncles. There are nails in our house that came from my great uncle's work belt. I mean, there's so much history in a house that was built only 30 years ago. Kenny proposed to me in that house. I was taking a nap on the couch in that house the first time I suspected I was pregnant with Robbie. I could not keep my eyes open after Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, more so than normal. I remember my dad welding together rebar and putting chicken wire over it for our first chicken run. I remember standing in the kitchen and my dad coming to tell me that I had made it to finals for skiing. I remember playing in the mud when the house was being built. I remember standing in the creek and looking down and realizing that there was a water snake wrapped around my foot and running screaming back to the house and not coming out for a week. I remember the time my dad knocked a screwdriver off the bathroom sink and stabbed my mom in the ankle. I remember Kenny stepping on a rusty nail in the yard. And memories are one thing. I have them no matter where we go, but this house is the tangible piece of my dad that is left and a family legacy. This isn't something that I talk about a lot, but all of this has me thinking about it. I mean, contemplating what we do next and the potential of having to move has me thinking about this. My dad died here. And I mean, it's just a house, but it's not just a house. It's my home, and it always has been. Okay. I need something stronger than coffee. So, do I fight, or do I build a house and a home somewhere else, just like my dad did? I mean, it was on the same road, but it was still a different house. For now, we keep preparing for Monday, and we will go to that meeting and hopefully leave with some great news for you.
We are about to go into a store to get some pictures because apparently we need some pictures for tonight, and who carries around actual pictures anymore? Don't you forget about me. I got those pictures, I dropped them off, gave them to Courtney. And when I got in there, she was already on the computer trying to get more information ready to go for our meeting. I guess we're mostly worried that they're going to ask for something that we're not prepared for, or we don't have. So we are both Penn State graduates and remember our college days quite well of being unprepared for exams.
I got green.
You got green today? Well, that's cool. Hey.
What?
If you're wearing green, then I gotta change my shirt because I'm wearing green. I had green on first.
This is my shirt with my lucky bees on it.
Your lucky bees.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi. Mama wore a green shirt too. Do you think she should change or I should change?
Mama.
Mama should change? That's what I said.
Unless she doesn't actually have to change. That looks really, really beautiful.
You telling me I gotta change?
No.
Oh, we'll just go like this?
Mm-hmm.
Matchy matchy? Mm-hmm. Well, it's go time, folks. It is 6:39 p.m. This meeting is at 7 o'clock, so we're gonna leave, get on over there, and don't think we can take you with us. So hang in there. When we get back, we'll tell you what happened. Hopefully. And hopefully it's good news. I'm staying positive. How about you?
I'm staying positive. Good thing I had a really busy day at work. I didn't start worrying about this until about an hour ago, but we're prepared.
We're ready. Let's do this.
Let's go.
Keeping them chickens.
Hey Kenny, I'm gonna need more wine. Well,
Well, that could have gone better.
We got a continuance.
First, I'm very glad that we took an attorney.
If any of you ever go through anything like this, take a lawyer.
I am an accomplished public speaker. I am a professional. I know my stuff. I know how to make a well-composed argument. And nope, this is not my area of expertise, and I'm way too emotional about it. I completely lost it.
I think you did pretty well. I mean, up to that point. Everything started off with the zoning officer basically outlining exactly what the deal was. Then it was followed with what our lawyer presenting our argument as to why we should be given an exception. And again, in case you aren't really clear as to what is going on in this situation, we need to apply for an exception first before we can try to argue any other point. Our lawyer laid out just exactly how we fulfilled everything in the special exception ordinance, basically. He went through each piece, and I thought he did a great job and outlined everything perfectly.
Seemed very clear.
Yeah.
To me.
Until the question about what is an acceptable fence. And then again, we told you before about the silly rules, meaning you have to have 1 acre for 1 to 20 chickens, and then you need 1 acre for every 3 goats.
All of which we can meet.
We can.
And although we are using portable electric fence for a lot of our grazing, we are also willing to fence in all of the land that we need to for the animals. So we said that. We're like, listen, the rolls of fence are laying next to the driveway right now. All the T-posts are there. We had just bought all of this fencing the day that we got the letter, and so we've left it lay there because obviously we were not going to put up hundreds and hundreds of feet of fence if we could.
We're just going to have to take it all down.
Keep our animals. Yeah. Any of you have built fences know why
That's a lot of work.
Wouldn't do that. The point is, we're like, yeah, we'll put up the fence, no problem. Everybody was like, okay, seems reasonable.
We probably could have voted right at that moment, and everything would have been good. We would have walked out of there with the exception. There was one guy who felt that we just didn't have enough land for what we were requesting, and that we would have had to decrease our animals. So we talked about that, and that wasn't necessarily something we were looking to do, but something we would talk about. And then the question about
what a fence means, the fence should be made of.
What's an open grazing area versus a meadow, and what's a side yard?
Basically, we have to be able to show that we have 4 acres fenced in for grazing that is in the side and rear yards. So Only, yeah, not in the space that is in front of our house. Anyway, we're gonna go out and measure all of that. We will go back. In the meantime, I, just had a nervous breakdown in
front of everyone.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm a mom. I am a wife. I have a job. And I raise goats and chickens. This is the thing that I do. This is, what, I don't even know who I am without that.
My wife.
And that's not to discredit being your wife or being a mom or my career. Those are all very important things to me, but this is literally the only thing that
Yeah.
It is my thing.
So that's our story, folks. By the time I've gotten to this point, we've had about a day for this to sit and settle in. I'm not feeling any better about it. As a matter of fact, I think we feel worse today than we did last night. So that brings me to this. I want to make a couple recommendations. One, ask yourself, do you really know what you can and can't do in your township? We really honestly thought that we were good to go. When you look up and you type in animals in our township, it gives you everything you need. We were right there, right in line with what we needed. We just didn't know that we weren't the right zone. That was somewhere else. We made a mistake, and we honored that. In this situation, no one, it turns out, complained about anything. There were no complaints. This was literally a zoning officer who saw that we had a barn and sent us a letter. Number two, is there anything in there that doesn't make any sense? And if so, what can you do to change it? I challenge you to go check those things out. Because this movement that we are all a part of is not going to continue unless we all strive to make it possible for everybody. Why can't people have a couple of chickens in their backyard? And why would they need an acre of fenced-in area for those 4 chickens? That is crazy nonsense. All of you who have chickens know that. Stick up for those people. Do something. People, I am fired up. For those of you out there who make videos, don't just make those videos. Do something. Use your influence. Make something happen. For those of you who watch these videos and maybe you don't have these problems, don't stand by with the, well, it's not happening to me, so it's really not my problem. Do something about it. If you're one of the folks that has to go in front of a hearing board, take a lawyer with you. If you can't afford a lawyer, take somebody with you that knows what they are talking about. You need somebody who's going to be there for you. We would have been railroaded out of that room so fast if we didn't have someone there that was speaking on our behalf, that knew what they were talking about and understood the process. Because without that, oh folks, we wouldn't have a continuance. This would be done. Folks, the last thing I want to recommend to you is this. Find your favorite homesteading channel. If they weren't a part of this collaboration, reach out to them and challenge them to share with their viewers how it is that they could use their influence to make this movement possible for everyone. How can they use their influence to create change and be a homesteader that takes a stand? Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for everything. It's incredible to have this kind of a community, but this community needs to do more, and we can. As a group, we can make things happen. We can make change happen. You don't have to be a Joel Salatin or a Justin Rhodes or any of those people who we all look up to as if they're superhuman beings. You just have to be you, and you have to care. Thanks, everybody.